In 2022, there was a legendary team builder who used Golisopod throughout the entire season and even top cut the World Championship, and he's been able to build some insane teams. And this team is a brand new creation with Samurott and Cinderace he used to get top 60 on the ranked ladder in the last season. We're going to be trying out and see how well it performs. This is a crazy team that features double starter with Samurott and Cinderace. You have Shell Armor Samurott, which is really cool against all the Urshifus, with Water Pledge, which is an accurate water type move since we can't get access to Scald, but also has access to Grass Knot to help out against Water Urshifu, which is the main counterpoint you're supposed to use it for. Cinderace, which is really nice as a support option with the Assault Vest, Pyro Ball that can do a lot of damage, helps out against Flutter Mane, Snarl support, Sucker Punch for priority, and Super Fang that can dish out a lot of damage, especially to the high base HP mons in the game like Iron Hands. Then you have Speed Booster Flutter Mane for some support. You have Detail and Corviknight for speed advantage, Fake Out Protect Citrus Berry Iron Hands, and the Sharp Beak Dragon Dance Salamander. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they will be linked in the description down below. Iron Hands, Tinglu, Amoonguss, Urshifu, Arcanine, and Flutter Mane. Okay, no speed controls. Interesting. Usually you would see Trick Room, Priority. I mean, Arcanine, I guess, could be Priority in a sense with Urshifu, but usually it is the Xianpao, so a little bit interesting here to see. It's basically the classic balance, but you just have Urshifu over a Gyarados or Palafin. How do I exactly want to approach this? I have quite a few Pokemon. Like Cinderace could be really good here, potentially, because Super Fang against a really high HP stat mons is always like a really nice thing. Salamence is pretty good here. Like Salamence actually does do quite a bit of work if set up properly. There is Intimidate though, but it is helpful against the Tinglu as a switch in. Samurott's pretty decent here, damage output wise. Corviknight's not bad here either. They don't exactly have the best answers to Corviknight, although Urshifu plus Arcanine is a little bit skeptical. I guess the question is, what do I want to exactly bring? Because I'm not exactly too sure. I think I want to try out the Cinderace combination. I think Cinderace plus Iron Hands is not a bad lead with Salamence and the Samurott. You know, we're having a fun Pokemon, might as well try them out. I think these Pokemon can win as a combination. I like the idea of leading the Cinderace plus Iron Hands. I like having Salamence as a pivot potentially, although I could set up Salamence for an end game win condition as well if it's set up with Dragon Dance, if I'm able to get rid of the Arcanine early with Samurott, but we'll find out. Arcanine plus Iron Hands is not a bad lead here for me, as I do lead the Cinderace plus the Iron Hands. Pretty good spot, pretty good spot. It's not an amazing spot, but it's like a pretty decent one here. Okay, so I have a few things I can go for. I like the idea of just going for a Super Fang, I think, into... I could fake out Super Fang. I could go for a swap into Salamence if I want. I like the idea of Super Fang. Well, the thing is, if I Super Fang the Iron Hands, it can get a little bit strange because they can Drain Punch me here. Although, I think my best play is just to go into Salamence here and just go for a fake out into the Arcanine, which I think is like a pretty decent play. So what I'm gonna do is probably fake out turn one and then swap out the Iron Hands back into Cinderace and protect the following. So I'm just trying to get like this Intimidate pivoting rolling here. So let's see if that's gonna work. Fake out the Arcanine so it can't go for a Wisp here. They just trade fake outs. Okay, so this ends up working out really well for me too. Perfect. So now I can go for a few plays. I think Protect is definitely a play I want to go for. I could go into Cinderace, or I could actually go out into Samurott. I don't really care if Samurott gets burned. It actually might be better for me, even though I might take Residual, just because the Amoonguss, like not being, like having a Spore Switch is actually really nice. I don't have one currently. So I think my best play is just to protect the Salamence, and I'm going to go out into my Samurott here, because I don't expect... I think you would probably want to Wisp here. The Salamence, potentially. They actually retreat Iron Hands, which actually puts me in a good spot. Okay. Tinglu. Okay, that's really good. I have my Samurott in a really fantastic position. Let's see if they Wisp or not, because that's the thing I'm worried about. So that's why I'm protecting the Salamence. I don't care who they Wisp here, really. They Wisp what was my hand. So I could have went for Dragon Dance. It's fine. I am going to switch out Salamence. I'm going to go to Cinderace. Super Fang is looking really nice here into the Ting Lu, and I'm just going to go for the Water Pledge into the Arcanine. So yeah, I am going to switch out a Cinderace to avoid the Wisp. They're also not going to ground move, I think, my Salamence. They could Rock Slide, but I think that's okay if they do go for it. Water Pledge to Arcanine for Chip. And then next turn, I like the idea of Super Fang the Ting Lu. I think it's really strong. Or I can Super Fang the Arcanine reading Iron Hands. They do go for the Wisp here into what was my Salamence. Perfect. Water Pledge is going to come out into the Arcanine for some pretty strong damage. That's like really impressive. Rock Slide does come out, unfortunately, so that is still a pretty decent amount of Cinderace. But that was a crit. I was like, that's a lot of damage. But okay. So I do want a Super Fang here. I want to Super Fang the Ting Lu, and I'm probably gonna have to rely on one of the Terras to beat the Flutter Mane if it's Flutter Mane in the back. Grass not stronger or Water Play? They're the same base power. Yeah, they're the same base power. Grass Knot could cover an Urshifu, I guess. Yeah, I think I would rather cover the Urshifu. It also probably yeah, I'm gonna cover the Urshifu. They're gonna retreat Arcanine. Wouldn't be surprised if Hands comes out here, which is fine for me. Yep, it's perfectly fine. Gonna be able to get a Super Fang plus Grass Knot off into the Ting Lu. I keep thinking that's gonna miss, but it's just literally the animation for Libero. Nice damage into Ting Lu. Grass Knot gonna come out into Ting Lu as well. Pretty good damage regardless. Ruination into Samurott. So they're scared of Samurott, and this is actually really, really good for me. Okay. Yeah, that's really solid here because now I'm able to go for, because now my Ting Lu's not in range of Fake Out or anything, so I can pretty much just Super Fang the Iron Hands and I can just go for a Water Pledge into the Ting Lu. If it's Salamence in the back, I don't have to Terra anything, so that's nice. Super Fang gonna come out into the Iron Hands. And look at just how much damage we've been doing. Even if it Drain Punches, it's not really recovering that much damage. The Ting Lu goes down. The Arcanine is already in range of Salamence attack, so this is like really good here. Drain Punch gonna knock out the Cinderace, but they're getting what, 44 HP, which is like what? Yeah, like it's not even, they're not even back at 75%. So really good trade-offs, I think, for me. And now the question is, what do I want to go out into? Probably the Salamence here. Actually, it would be the Iron Hands. It would be the Iron Hands, actually, yeah. Even if Mence comes, even if Arcanine comes back out, that's fine. They're still threatened by the Water Pledge. And yeah, they bring out their Urshifu, so this ends up working out perfectly. I wanted to Protect because that's the one I'm trying to figure out right now. But I am going to Fake Out and I am going to go for a Grass Knot into the Urshifu. They do have Protect. Okay, so I wasn't sure if it was a Scarf variant because their team was so slow. I didn't know if it was a Scarf. Oh, they go for Double Protect. Okay, that's fine. A little bit surprising, but it works out. I go for the Fake Out into the Urshifu, and I go for the Grass Knot. Like, I already revealed Grass Knot earlier, so this shouldn't be too much of a surprise. I guess the Urshifu, if it's Terra Grass, doesn't change anything because of dual Wing Beats. So I think I just go for the same play. If they go into Arcanine, they go down to the Thunder Punch, even at -1 because they're so low. So yeah, I just go for a Grass Knot here into a Thunder Punch. My only concern is beating the Iron Hands in the in a potential 1v1 scenario if my Salamence goes down early. At least on the bright side, Salamence should like outspeeds all their Pokemon. And a lot of their Arcanine's in range. The Urshifu is kind of in a weird spot because if it attacks with close combat to pick up a knockout, I should be fine. They go for a close combat actually into the hands, so they want damage in the hands. And that works out beautifully for me because I get a free Grass Knot into Urshifu for hopefully the knockout. Yeah, like that actually just picks up the knockout into Urshifu. That Grass Knot goes crazy. And because of the Expert Belt, and then we have Thunder Punch. But the Iron Hands, more importantly, is going to be trapped by my Intimidate, and I'm not going to get intimidated by the Arcanine on my Salamence. So that's actually really crucial. Okay, perfect. Heal up with my Citrus Berry real quick. So I want to sack my Iron. I want to sack my Samurott to get the free switch into my. I guess it's still kind of weird Because this endgame could still come down to crits. I don't want him to waste my hands. I think I'm just going to protect here, and I'm just going to go for a water pledge. The only problem is I want to Earthquake the next turn, but obviously hands can't protect because I'm protecting this turn. They go for extreme speed in a Samurott, which is going to pick up a knockout, which is fine. Okay. This could still end up being scary. Let's see. Brain punch. At least I'm pretty confident that Salamence outspeeds here. Yeah, I am max speed. Okay, I was like pretty confident I was. I just want to double check. Salamence comes in. I go for Earthquake here. Or I could Dragon Dance, but if they Wisp here, it's really bad. I'd rather them extreme speed, if anything. I'm just going to go for a double protect and Earthquake. It doesn't matter if the Drain Punch gets redirected into Immense, really. Earthquake. I don't know if it two-shots the hands. That's my only concern. They didn't protect the Arcanine, though, so I should get a free Earthquake here. Oh, they actually protect the hands, which actually makes this a lot better for me. Yeah, that makes it a lot better for me because I knock out the Arcanine here with the Earthquake, and I knock out my own hand, so now I get 2 single target Earthquakes. Oh, I don't even KO my own hands. Don't even KO my own hands. That's fine. Okay. Just don't crit me. Or have Ice Punch. Should I scout for Ice Punch? I don't think they do. Oh, yeah, they don't. We saw Fate. Okay, they would have no Drain Punch if that's the case, right? I don't think we confirmed an electric move, right? I suppose. They need to have Ice Punch, Drain Punch, Fake Out, Protect. That has to be their set. I just don't see that happening. So I'm going to Dragon Dance here, and I'm going to Drain Punch. We're going to see a Terra from the Iron Hand. So this is Terra Grass. Fighting. Okay. It does get rid of their weakness to Earthquake, but I do have dual Wing Beats. Now I gotta hit a dual Wing Beats too on top of this, I guess. But yeah, Dragon Dance gonna come out. They do have a stronger Drain Punch, I suppose. For what it's worth. But dual Wing Beats now should always KO, which is nice. Drain Punch. I do have a faster hands too, it looks like, so I am able to heal. Okay. Who did they target? A Thunder Punch, the Immense. Okay. Moment of truth. Do we land a dual Wing Beats or not? That's going to be a big one. We're going to go for it. Okay, we missed the first one. Looks like we live another Thunder Punch, though, even if that's not the case. Drain Punch going to come out once again. I could have protected Drain Punch, too, but I just don't think that's worth it if they do go for Drain Punch here. Citrus Berry. Okay, Mens, please. Oh, they Drain Punched. Okay. Thank goodness. And even my hand survives that too, so that's perfect. They were definitely trying to get back in the game by expecting Immense Protect, so I got another Drain Punch off, but... Hey, Immense! You got bailed? You got another shot. Okay, you hit the dual Wing Beats. Goodbye, Iron Hands. I don't get why dual Wing Beats is like this too. It's not even like a crazy move. Why does it have that 90% accuracy? But able to hit the Iron Hands. That's all I needed to do, Mens. Great job. Endgame Mens was really strong. They had a really slow team. Once we saw like what they brought, they actually were really weak to Mens, and was glad that I was able to bring it into a good endgame situation. For the most part, Samurott was able to put in work. Cinderace was able to put in work. Really happy with that game and how it performed overall. Entity, Armor, King Gambit, Torkoal, Hatterene, Annihilate. Why are they still using this Hard Trick Room stuff like from previous? Okay, how do I want to approach this? Hard Trick Room is very weird here. This team does not like Side Spam. Ironically, I'm gonna go with Cinderace, I think, with Flutter Mane. I think I have to lead Flutter Mane. The reason I have to lead Flutter Mane is this seems really weak to Annihilate, but otherwise, yeah, I think I have to do this. I think I have to lead the Flutter Mane speed booster so I can attack the Annihilate and then have the Cinderace in the back. Last Pokemon, I think it's like, I want to say it's Samurott plus Iron Hands. Like the Salamence doesn't really do too much. It can't really switch in. I also give the King Gambit a boost, which is really not pleasant. Samurott, even though its power is weakened by the fire move or by the sun, at least I can't get crit with the Samurott, so it should be able to tank one attack at least. We'll see. It's going to be the Entity Armorage lead, which ends up working out pretty well for me. I am able to get a Snarl off, and I might want a Shadow Ball here. Like, I actually might want a Shadow Ball the Armorage. The reason is because they might see this as an opportunity to go for Expanding Force Trick Room. Maybe it's a little bit greedy. If they go for Follow Me Trick Room, though, I don't really think it's that fearful of a situation. So I'm going to be able to get the Speed Booster on the Flutter Mane and get that Speed Boost. That was for Annihilate if it did lead. I am going to go for a Snarl. If they have Kingambit, they switch in. Like, really good play. But, like, what else am I supposed to freaking do against that? I'm just going to Shadow Ball, and I'm going to go for a Snarl right here. And, yeah, it looks like that is going to be the case, actually, where they did allow me to get the free Snarl off here. So, Snarl, special defense decrease. Does that allow Snarl to KO the Cinderace? I do transform into Dark type. Snarl going to come out. I knock out the Armorage, which... Okay, I wasn't sure if I was knocking out the Armorage. I think I would have preferred the Armorage staying alive, actually, because it would have made this a lot easier. But granted, it's not like that bad. So this is going to be the Torkoal coming in. Yep, Torkoal coming in. I don't resist the fire moves now, which is a concern. So I have a few options. Terrifier is actually really good on my Iron Hands, I think, in this situation. But I could also Terrifier to get rid of my Libero and get a Snarl off and a Torkoal, which probably makes it easier to stall out the Trick Room. And maybe losing my fighting type isn't that great, especially if it's like Hatterene in the back. So you know what? Let's go for a Terrifier. Let's Snarl here and protect my Flutter Mane. With the Assault Vest, I'm thinking I could lift Terrifier Eruption from Helping Hand from this combination. And then because I Snarl, I get a little bit of chip damage into the Torkoal. Lower that special attack, which is better because then I can switch out on like my Samurott. Shell Armor prevents it from being crit. And then I can stall out this Trick Room more efficiently. And hopefully I get a little bit of damage to Entity to like... actually make sure that Trick Room never goes up again. So let's see. Terrifier overriding the Libero change from the Dark typing earlier. Let's see if this is going to be the case. Helping Hand is going to come out from the Entity into the Torkoal. There should be Eruption, I'd imagine. Like, what else are you really going to click? Protect from Flutter Mane. Making sure that I can stick around for another turn. Here comes the Eruption. Let's see, Assault Vest Cinderace, how good are you? I think you can live this. Like, I really do. With Assault Vest and a Terrifier, I think you can. Yeah, not great, but... Okay, as long as the Torkoal's hit. Although the damage on Entity would have been really nice. That's still, like, pretty decent here. Okay. So now I can go into Samurott. And I think Flutter Mane should live 1, and I don't really need Flutter Mane around, so I'm gonna go for a Dazzling Gleam. I do need damage on the Entity more than the Torkoal, so I will go for Dazzling Gleam here. So I'm gonna retreat my Cinderace. It's still useful because Pyro Ball in the Sun is still really threatening to Entity later on, so I think it's 100% worth it. Bring out the Samurott. Helping Hand is gonna come out again. Does this knock out Flutter Mane? I don't think so. This Flutter Mane is actually pretty bulky. I don't think it will. Here comes Eruption once again. -1. Still does so much damage. It's absolutely insane. Here comes a Dazzling Gleam, though. Get a bit more chip damage in a Torkoal, so the Eruptions are a lot less powerful. And... it turns to Trick Room left. Samurott doesn't have, like, super long left. I'm going to Water Pledge the Torkoal, and I'm just going to protect my Flutter Mane once again. I want to stall out this Trick Room as much as possible. Like, a free switch into Cinderace plus Iron Hands is still pretty good here. We're going to see the Entity actually retreat here, so I wonder what's coming in. That does get rid of a special defense boost. Hatterene. That's a problematic Pokemon. Yet, I guess... yeah, because I could actually get reverse swept by it. Eruption's not KO on my Samurott, which is really good. But oh man, they have an option to go for double reverse trick room the following turn. Eruption going to come out. Okay. Water Pledge into Torkoal for some extra chip. Okay, perfect. The Torkoal being alive is actually really nice here. Unfortunately, I think I do. Do I have to sack both here? Probably. I think I do. I can't really switch in to Dazzling Gleam with the Iron Hands. I could sack my Flutter Mane here. Or I could sack my Cinderace here, but I don't really like it. I think I'd rather just go for a double protect at this point. I'm going to Ice Beam the Hatterene, and I'm just going to go for a double protect. If I get it, great. If not, not the biggest deal. They made a really smart switch. That Torkoal switch is really good. Are they specs? Inity comes in. That's actually the worst case. Do you fail the double? Okay. Dazzling Gleam is going to pick up a knock on them both. Actually, yeah. Because they swapped out there, that's actually really bad for me. Yeah, that's not great. Takes a life of recall, but I don't think it's gonna be. At least Psychic Terrain disappears. That's actually pretty big. Okay, maybe there's a shot. I'm gonna go on a Cinderace and I'm gonna go into Iron Hands. Because Pyro Ball is gonna threaten a lot of damage. The problem is, can I even pick up the knockout? I feel like with Terrafire and in Sun, I should pick up a knockout into whatever Pokemon I get this target into. I'm gonna target the Hatterene. And I'm just going to go for a Thunder Punch into the Hatterene as well. I don't think they protect. Yeah, they're going to follow me, which is fine. And Trick Room, or are they Psychic, I guess is a question. Fireball does come out. We do have the Sun Boost as well, which is nice. We are able to get the Fireball off in Inity. Does pick up the knockout, which is great. If Thunder Punch can put this in Sucker Punch range, I'm actually like okay with this spot, but we'll find out. Thunder Punch going to come out in the Hatterene. I don't think that is going to, unfortunately. The Trick Room is going to come out. Sunlight fades. It's gonna get reset again. I don't know for a Heat Wave miss, maybe. Well, the Torkoal is low, but I don't think it's low enough to be put in Sucker Punch range. I don't think the Hatterene's in Sucker Punch range either, unfortunately. I mean, my hope though is to get the Sucker Punch knockout in the Torkoal though. And I think I Thunder Punch the Hatterene. Do I Thunder Punch the Hatterene? They might Psychic. They Gleam. I live with Cinderace. I think I protect here, actually. I think I do protect Sucker. And the reason is because if they Gleam my Cinderace, I should be fine. I need Sucker Punch to KO the Torkoal anyway. Which it does, actually. Okay. Hold up. What did they click? What did they click? This is really important, actually. What did they click? Oh my goodness. What did they click? It did click Gleam. Okay, so I should have Thunder Punched. If they click Psychic, I lost anyway, I think, because I don't think Sucker Punch was enough to KO the Hatterene. But I am able to hang on. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We can Sucker Punch the Hatterene, and we can go for a Thunder Punch, and we somehow win this. Sucker Punch. Yeah, not enough. But Life Orb it KOs? If not, Thunder Punch is KOs. They didn't crit me, thankfully, on the Iron Hands. I was really worried if they did make the double into Indy. I wasn't sure they were just gonna click Heatwave Dazzling Gleam. It was a really good swap on their part, but thankfully did not work out for them. Okay, they did actually live the next life for Pit. All right, but the Sucker Punch was still really good because now Thunder Punch into the Hatterene picks up the knockout. Oh my goodness. Close on. Looks like I preserved the right tools. I think the Terrafire was pretty clutch. The Snarl into the Torkoal allowed me to actually like mitigate some of the damage that it could do. Sucker Punch endgame was really clutch from the Cinderace. One Psychic Terrain, and that Pyro Ball was actually like really powerful in this Sun. Oh my goodness. Urshifu, Fluttermane, Cresselia, Iron Hands, Torkoal, and Ursaluna. Interesting to see Trick Room with Cresselia, Fluttermane, or Urshifu. Okay, how do I want to exactly approach this? Usually on these teams, I feel like they would usually be Dark Urshifu, especially with the Torkoal. So, do I have the best Trick Room stoppers? I do not really believe so. We can try and figure something out. What do I want to do here? I could do Cinderace plus Iron Hands, which isn't a bad lead against this team, which I think I probably will go for. I think I'm going to do Cinderace plus Iron Hands. In the back, I'm thinking Salamence and the Samurott potentially. I do like Samurott because I can still Grass Knot the Ursaluna. I still have like a decent amount of damage I can do with Torkoal. I like Salamence because it can switch into Ursaluna and the Torkoal. The only problem is Facade is still pretty threatening overall, but at least I get the Intimidate off, which isn't too bad. We'll see how this matchup performs. Usually the Cresselia doesn't have Terra Ghost, and it's usually a not something that can really handle Fake Out plus an attack here. But we're gonna see Flutter Mane Torkoal instead, which is okay. As I do lead my Cinderace plus my Iron Hands here. Let's see what the Flutter Mane is. Special attack probably. Speed actually. Wow. All right. Speed isn't super threatening to my... I mean, Moonblast is not going to knock out my Iron Hands. It's going to do a lot of damage, but it's not going to knock out. I do like the idea of just going for a Fake Out potentially into the Torkoal, but this could be helping hand from Torkoal too, so I'm in a little bit of a weird situation. I think I'd rather try to Fake Out the Torkoal and just Pyro Ball for a bunch of damage. The problem is I am really weak to Urshifu if I do lose Iron Hands though. So I think I'm just going to go for the Protect, and I think I am just going to go for a Pyro Ball into the Flutter Mane and just try and knock it out. We're going to see a Terra come out, so this might be Terra Fairy, which ends up working out really well. If it is Terra Water, I guess it's awkward, but it should still be okay. Terra Fairy is going to be revealed here, which is perfect, okay? So my Cinderace with the Assault Vest should be able to live any attack here from the Flutter Mane. It is a helping hand, so I'm really glad that I did go for the Protect with the Iron Hands, and I don't think they were expecting this Protect, so I am able to protect the Iron Hands turn one. Cinderace, you got one job, please. Dazzling Gleam is going to come out from the Flutter Mane, and oh my goodness, please, 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 please. We take that so well. Pyro Ball does come out. Hooray! Into the Flutter Mane. Knocked out Flutter Mane. Turn one. Goodbye. I'm actually surprised I went for Gleam, but I am very happy that I went for the Protect there. So we are able to eliminate the Flutter Mane just immediately. Great. That's a huge offensive pressure. That's just like gone. We're going to see the Cresselia come out, which is okay-ish. It's not amazing for me, but it's still not too bad. I do have Terra Fire on the Iron Hands if I want to. I don't know if I want to go for the Terra Fire, but I don't exactly have the best Terras anyway in this matchup. I think I want to just go for a Thunder Punch into Torkoal and a Super Fang into the Torkoal as well. I could also go for Snarl, which isn't bad either, but if I had Swords Dance, that would be a lot better. They could Protect too, I suppose, but I think they'd rather try to get offensive pressure here. I feel like Super Fang and the Thunder Punch might put the Torkoal into range of Thunderbolt or into Sucker Punch. So, you know, let's go for the Super Fang. They do go for the Protect, so good play on their part. All right. I will go for the Super Fang into the Torkoal's Protect. We will actually activate Libera, so I actually don't resist the fire moves now. A little bit awkward. Thunder Punch into the Torkoal's Protect. And we're gonna see the Trick Room. Okay. Let's see what I want to do now. Trick Room is up. If I can stall out Sun, that'd be really great. It has to be one of their Trick Room Pokemon in the back. I'm thinking they don't have the Urshifu anymore. So if that's the case, Protect isn't too bad. Sucker Punch isn't too bad. I could see myself sacrificing the Cinderace. I'd probably want to Thunder Punch if that's the case, because they would just go for a Lunar Blessing, and that means my Sucker Punch did nothing here. You know, let's go for the Thunder Punch and Sucker Punch here into the Torkoal. Doesn't really do that much damage. That's a critical hit. That did not do that much damage. Eruption is going to come out from the Torkoal. Does a lot, but actually Cinderace survives, which I'm a little bit impressed by. A Thunder Punch is going to come out of Torkoal. A little bit of Chip, which is nice. Psychic going to come out from the Cresselia into the Iron Hands. Okay. Terra Fire might have actually been more helpful there, but it's acceptable. We will be able to heal up with our Citrus Berry. All right. So this is probably Heat Wave and a Psychic coming up. I'm going to Protect. Just dealing with Cresselia in the end game is going to be a little bit complicated. Are they going to Lunar Blessing now? I'm going to go for a Sucker Punch into Cresselia, I think. If they do go for like a Heat Wave, or they go for a Helping Hand. So Helping Hand Heat Wave? I don't know if that KOs. We'll find out. Protect the Iron Hands. I wanted to save Terra in case I needed it for like Salamence for to steal, but maybe it was not worth it. You're going to come out. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna bring out my Samurott now. I think I can't afford to. I think I have to Terra my hands now that I think about it. Yeah, not going for Terra of Hands is a little bit of a mess from earlier. So I'm gonna go for the Terra. I'm gonna go for a Thunder Punch in the Crest. I think I need the damage in the Crest anyway. Last turn of Harsh Sunlight. So I'm not really too worried about the Torkoal, but maybe I should just go for the Water Pledge anyway. I could Ice Beam the Crest, but I'm not doing that much damage. Yeah, I'm just going to Water Pledge the Torkoal. I don't think it picks as a knockout, but it might put it in range of Aqua Jet, which is still pretty good. We're going to get the Terra. At least on the bright side, they can't go for Terra with their team, which is still pretty solid for me. Terrifier is going to come out for the Iron Hands. A little bit worried about this Ursaluna coming up, though. That is a very scary Pokemon to deal with. Helping Hand from the Torkoal into the Cresselia. It's kind of funny because they both have it. Thunder Punch going to come out in the Crest. I don't do any damage. Jeez, it's going to be a problem. Water Pledge is going to come out. It knocks out the Torkoal. That was stronger than I thought. You go for the Psychic and Iron Hands, which I am going to be able to survive. Okay. Interesting. Sunlight disappears, which means my Samurott's still stronger now. We're going to see Ursaluna come out. Okay. I don't know if Ursaluna is going to attack or protect, because I don't think Ursaluna can knock out the Samurott even if it double up from Crest. Maybe if it's Headlong Rush specifically. I think I'm just going to Drain Punch then, and I'm just going to Water Pledge the Cresselia because I kind of need to get rid of the Cresselia as quick as possible. They do go for Helping Hand, so this might be Earthquake, which is okay. They did go for the Earthquake. All right. So Samurott should survive one. Yeah, Samurott actually takes out a lot better than I was expecting. Problem is, can I knock out Crest? I haven't really been able to get that much damage on Crest. I kind of wish I protected the hands, but at the same time, I do get a free switch into my Salamence. I'm just not doing any damage. And the problem is there's mind games with the Cresselia and Ursaluna. This is not looking that great, but I'm just going to have to hope that dual Wing Beats into Water Pledge can pick up a knockout potentially on the Cresselia, because if not, it's looking pretty over, unfortunately for me. So let's go for a dual Wing Beat into the Cresselia, I suppose. And let's go for a Water Pledge into the Cresselia as well. Ursaluna might protect here, because if I do double up the Ursaluna, then the Cresselia I don't think has enough offensive pressure since it doesn't have Ice Beam. But no, they attacked with the Ursaluna, so gotta hope that I can knock out the Cresselia with Water Pledge. That looks so close. Water Pledge is going to come out of Cresselia. Just barely missing the knockout. Unfortunately, Facade going to come out, which maybe I survive one. No, I don't with the Salamence. So unfortunate there. As Trick Room is going to go up, so yeah, unfortunately, not much I could do. I guess if I did double up the Ursaluna, though, they were screwed, but I had to call that. I think it was just like earlier turns. Like turn one was fantastic. Then, like if I did Snarl earlier, Snarl would have been actually so impactful into the Cresselia, because I would have actually got to knock on Cresselia, and then maybe Samurott. I don't know if it would beat the Ursaluna. Probably not. I don't think Water Pledge would one-shot it. But yeah, maybe protecting Iron Hands also could have been a better factor. I thought, like, I was hoping that Water Pledge twice into dual Wing Beats would get the Cresselia. Hoping that wasn't Citrus Berry. But yeah, it wasn't enough, unfortunately. All right, let's go over the games. In the first game, I was able to do massive work with the starters, wearing down my opponent's team with Super Fang and the combination of Water Pledge and Grass Knot, while Salamence was able to clean up the end game. In game 2, even though I got the read on the Armourouge, it ended up being awkward letting it go down because it wasn't accomplishing much after a Snarl, so chipping the Indeedee would have been better for me. The Terrifier helped my position with Cinderace to recover from a bad spot against the Torkoal, and Cinderace was able to get a crucial knockout with Sucker Punch, thankfully, at the end for the victory. In game 3, this game was winnable with a strong turn 1 start, but a terrible turn 2. Going for Snarl or Super Fang in the Cresselia would have put me in a much better long-term spot, as I found it really hard to damage the Cresselia, and going for Terra with Iron Hands earlier could have made the game much more manageable, which led to some calls I had to make with the Ursaluna protecting or not alongside potential ally switch, and I ended up getting the call wrong. This team is absolutely nuts. The Samurott actually is putting more work, and Cinderace too. I also thought Salamence has been viable for the format for a while, but it's just been really hard for ways to really build around it, because Fluttermane of course is everywhere, and then there are other Pokemon that like Salamis does not appreciate, like Shi-Empower, which can be troublesome. But overall, this team was really fun to try out. If you do want to use it, you could use it with the rental code on your screen, and you can check out the details of the team and the creator down below in the description. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.